After hours of debate, the Albuquerque City Council votes in favor of revamping the civilian agency that polices the police.
It's not a done deal just yet. The plan now goes to Mayor R.J. Berry. He has not said if he will sign off on it. Well, the new plan that this would create is for a new civilian police oversight agency, as you said, Liz, and it would give more power to this group than the old Police Oversight Commission, the POC, had. The new group would have the power to review investigations into officers and make recommendations on discipline. City councilors voted 8-0 to approve this plan, and they say it's something the Department of Justice wants here.
It's just very important legislation, and I think we've been vetting this and going over this for a long time now. I was trying to find out how long, but we've had task force. Now we have some issues, but I think basically the philosophy is the same. I mean, and if we don't vote on it tonight, then it's going to push it down the road.
Well, not everyone is on board, though. The police union says this new board goes too far and strips officers of due process. The union president, Stephanie Lopez, also says the union will consider filing a civil lawsuit if some of the provisions are passed.
The length of time that they're looking for any type of officer complaint to be filed, the amount of resources that will be utilized to determine if an officer is guilty of a violation.
The new Civilian Police Oversight Board would cost about $750,000 a year. That would come out of the police department's budget. Again, it now goes to Mayor Berry, but even if he does not sign off on this plan, it looks like the city council would have enough votes to override a veto. Well, the federal government, which bashed Albuquerque police for not turning on their body cameras often enough, is about to start practicing what it preaches. Border Patrol agents will start wearing body cameras next month in Artesia. There have been complaints that Customs and Border Protection is slow to investigate stories of abuse and deadly force involving agents and inspectors, and some say the feds lack transparency with this issue. The agents in Artesia are testing these cameras. It is not clear when the rest of the 21,000 agents in the field will get them.
The Valencia County Animal Shelter's financial records are under investigation. The Sheriff's Department seized records from the animal shelter's Los Lunas office yesterday morning. They say they're looking at allegations that money is missing and that the shelter may not be documenting receipts for all of its transactions. So far, deputies say there's no criminal investigation right now, and they are not focusing on anyone in particular.
So it's just more of a number comparison right now, and then, you know, should we discover something that leads to embezzlement or any other, you know, criminal act, then at that point we'll change directions on the investigation.
The county says an outside financial investigator will look through the records next.
Well, a woman in Santa Fe wants to find the heartless thief who stole memories of her father, who once served as a police officer. Investigators say Willie Angel Jr.'s military medals and his badge, similar to the one you're about to see here, were stolen from his daughter's home in the Paseo Real area south of Santa Fe. It happened sometime between September 6th and the 12th. A laptop was also stolen. Willie Angel worked for Santa Fe police back in the 90s. If you have any information about any of this, please call the police department or sheriff's office in Santa Fe.
A Rio Rancho woman arrested for driving drunk beat the charge, and now she is suing the city. After a local judge tossed out the case, Mariah Martinez and her attorney decided to file a federal civil rights lawsuit. It's part of a growing number of cases filed across the country which argue that drivers who flash their headlights are protected by the First Amendment.
He asked me if there was any specific reason why I honked and flashed my lights, and then I explained to him that I thought that his brights were on.
Well, tonight at 9 o'clock on Two Casa Fox, Matt Grubbs is on special assignment as we look behind the arrest and deeper into the case that could have an impact potentially on every driver in New Mexico. All right, it is a generation that is fading with each passing year, a generation that stood strong during World War II.
In this case, we're talking about the 307th Bomber Group, and these men united in Santa Fe this week. There, they swapped black and white photos and stories of survival. The men have ties to a blockbuster film that is set to debut this December. The movie is called Unbroken. It tells the story of the 307th Bombardier, Louis Zapparini. He was an Olympic runner, survived in the Pacific after his bomber crashed, and was also a prisoner of war. Zamperini died earlier this year. These men did not know him personally, but each had their own close calls. Some lost limbs, others went face to face with death. Now the men in Santa Fe want to share their legacy with future generations.
They need to know what brought this country to be the best in the world.
Veterans from the 307th Bomber Group have been gathering for reunions and sharing their history with others for about 30 years now. We can't tell them thank you enough. And today is POW and MIA Recognition Day. It's in honor of all those who served and fell into enemy hands or those who simply disappeared forever. More than 83,000 Americans are still missing or unaccounted for. Today you can expect to see the POW and MIA flags being flown next to the U.S. flag.